needs.
Mm-hmm.
What comes next? How do you help them get into more of the nuts and bolts about LSAT,
Sure,
law school
sure,
applications,
sure.
some of the things that, I mean, obviously lots of people can say that they're called, but then
Right,
if the
right.
admissions committee doesn't agree with
Right,
them,
right.
that's sort of a
Right.
problem.
I encourage, first of all, students to, I'm a professor who teaches law courses, so maybe I'm somewhat conflicted here, but I suggest taking an undergraduate law course just to see if, as just one data point, not the be all and end all, but just as one data point, is this work interests you as you read as you're reading cases? Does it seem more than just interesting, but are you sort of getting it as you read it? Are you seeing things there over time that you weren't seeing before, and that's exciting you? So I would do that. Again, I think the internship route as a way of confirming that. But when we get down to the nuts and bolts, what I talk to students about is, at the end of the day, the two most important numbers that are going to determine where you can go to law school and what kind of financial aid you're going to get, free financial aid, are your GPA and your LSAT score. And so I encourage students, number one, to focus on a major that interests them, as opposed to a major they think is good for law school, because law schools don't care about your major.
We don't care what you've majored in.
I think law schools care that you've had sort of a rigorous undergraduate education. At Wheaton College, we're a Christian liberal arts college, and so
that's not really a problem.
No, so any major is really going to work here.
But others who are listening, sort of broadly liberal arts background is fine, or even the hard sciences if that's if that's your thing. Engineering, math, economics are fine majors.
Absolutely.
Although on the more hard, is that left brain or right brain?
Yeah.
Whatever side of brain math and sciences, if you can take some of the corresponding courses on the other side of the brain having to do with reading and writing, that will help prepare you. But I think your point is an excellent one. Any sort of rigorous education is going to be good preparation for law school.
And if it's a major that interests you, it is going to engage you. And if it engages you, then not only are you getting the benefits of being a person in that discipline, but you're also going to probably get the best grades you can get, just as a practical matter. And grades do matter, even though the major doesn't matter. The grades really do matter.
Right. And as a general rule of thumb, I think my experience on being on an admissions committee at a law school is the more competitive or the more elite a law school is, the more GPA matters. Because the higher up you go on the scale of sort of the competitive law school, the more everybody's going to have an LSAT score in the 95th to 100th percentile, and they begin to look at GPAs.
Right. And then for the LSAT, it's an aptitude test. The joke about the LSAT course is it doesn't actually test anything. You don't have to know anything for the LSAT, because it's reading comprehension, analytical reasoning, logical reasoning. And so really what you need to do for the LSAT is just learn the test and learn to take the test quickly, because time is a factor in the test. And so really the best preparation is understanding the different sections, the different kinds of questions in the sections, and then just taking lots of practice tests so that you can do it quicker. Because if everybody had a lot of time, they'd all score in the 160s, 170s on the LSAT. But it's learning to take the test faster. And at some point, because it is an aptitude test, you're done with your preparation. As you take practice tests and you sort of plateau out on that score that you're getting, and your preparation's done, and you're really ready to take the test.
Now, you can take a prep course that will help get you familiar with the course. I'm not opposed to those.
I'm not either.
And that's fine. But a good way to do it is just to simply contact your pre-law advisor and say, hey, do you have some old LSATs that I can take under test conditions? When you apply for the test, they give you a practice test as well. So it's possible to prepare on your own as well.
Absolutely. And here at Wheaton College, as the pre-law advisor, what I've done is just purchased a lot of LSAT prep materials, put them in our library, created a list of what they are that are available online, and so we have sort of a virtual library, and they're both Kaplan and Princeton Review and PowerScore and other commercial provider materials, and then a lot of the LSAC practice test materials. And so you can do it through a provider, you can do it on your own. I think it really depends on who you are as a test taker and as a student. If you're someone who is just not discipline is going to sit down and do it on your own and spend substantial time, taking a practice test is 3-4 hours, depending on,
Yeah.
on how you do it. If you're not that sort of person, then you really do need to take a commercial prep course just to force you to sit down and do the work. But if you're a person who is a disciplined student, you can go sort of on your own route and save some money.